there, quick announcement before we get into today's episode that I will be attending the International Beauty Show, IBS, in Las Vegas of this year, June 2019. And I will be sharing a booth with my fellow podcasters. So Lashcast podcast and Lash Boss Radio and I are teaming up to have a Lash podcast booth. So I hope to see each and every one of you that are attending that event at that booth so we can talk. We'll be doing live casts where the three of us are going to join up for a mega podcast. We'll each be doing podcasts and interviews and meeting with you guys at that event. I'll be doing hot seat coaching sessions with some of my Lashpreneur Society members so you can listen in to how I coach them. It is going to be amazing and awesome. And if you are part of my society, we are having an event Friday night just for society members only. So make sure you jump into the Facebook group or check your email for details on that event. You do need to RSVP. And for those of you that are attending that are not members, stop by the booth. I do have some special offers for you for our products, programs, and services, and I would love to meet you in person. Now on to today's show. So today's episode, I have a question for you. Are you living life by your decisions, or are you living life by default? I'm sharing today on how I've overcome over-analysis paralysis, not even analysis paralysis, but even over-analysis paralysis in my life, and how making quick decisions is one of the top 3 traits of successful entrepreneurs, and how we're able to do so confidently without this scarcity or fear mindset playing a part in that decision-making. So, full disclosure, I am a recovering overanalyzer. Like to a T. I was very proud of my overanalyzing growing up. Even into my late 20s, I would analyze everything. I like to think that marrying someone who was in the military helped me not to overanalyze things a lot because I didn't have a say in a lot of what my husband did when he was around, when he wasn't around, when he'd be home for dinner, when he didn't. So I couldn't plan out a bunch of different things in our life because the military was very unpredictable. So even when I did plan out things, they never ended up coming to fruition because the military always had their way. And I had no say in that. But, any other case in life, if you want someone to think through every single possible what-if scenario to a problem, I was your gal. I can instantly come up with like 30 reasons why you should or shouldn't do something to make a decision. And I used to pride myself on being able to see 10 steps ahead of every decision, and I was pretty darn accurate most of the time, but I really was just guessing. I still just guess, but I like to think that I see a sequence of events and patterns, and I can predict the future, right? Just kind of this fake, I can see the future kind of a thing. Now, being analytical and predicting behaviors is what has made me such an effective and results-driven coach. But coaching others on their possible outcomes, results, strategies, options, I don't have to make the decision for them. I just lay out some options and then I ask the right questions to get them to their answer for their decision. It really isn't me going through the decision, coming up with the result. It's me walking them through the process of coming up with their own answer or their own decision. So as a recovering overanalyzer, I've realized and discovered through a lot of therapy, mind you, that it is detrimental for my well-being to feel or perceive that I am stuck or trapped. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that you get really uncomfortable when you feel like you have no control of what's going on around you, that you feel like your life is just not the way you want it and you don't know how to get out of that. Maybe that's my anxiety kicking in, but that is very much something that when I feel stuck or trapped, that I cannot function in that. I don't thrive in that. In fact, last week I had my first panic attack in years after a very intense therapy session because I felt so stuck and so trapped and all I wanted to do was walk. So like I was talking to my husband, I was like, we have to walk. And during our walk, I had a panic attack because I was feeling so overwhelmed. And that's what kind of brought today's episode on was the feeling of being stuck and what decisions do I need to make to get myself to be unstuck? Because I am the cause of my life, whether I am deciding not to make decisions and I feel like I'm out of control of it, or I am conscious about the decisions I'm making to work towards the result that I want. So the one thing that I can control is me, my decisions, how I react, how I respond, how I feel, and how I perceive things. I am, for the most part, barring that time of the month, y'all know ladies, in control of my thoughts and emotions. And I cognitively know this. but a lot of times I'm making unconscious decisions, or I'm not making decisions that are affecting my environment, my reality, how I'm perceiving things. And the good news is for you is that we all are in control of our own thoughts, emotions, feelings, how we respond to things, how we react. This is not just unique to me. So yay, good news for you that what I'm going to talk about today can apply to you right away. So today I want to break down why it is that we get stuck and why sometimes making decisions is so darn difficult. So the cause of us being stuck or overanalyzing is usually the fear of making the wrong decision or a bad decision. We have this belief system that we always want to be making the right decision. There's a right and a wrong, a good and a bad. We also know that if we make a decision, action will be required of us, and it's probably going to make you uncomfortable. And we like to stay in our comfort zone. So examples would be, I don't know if I should quit my day job yet. What if it's the wrong choice and turns out I'm not good at being a business owner, or I don't like being a lash artist, or my business can't support me? Is that a bad decision or a wrong decision, or is it just a decision? I don't know if I should invest in this training because what if I don't like it, or I find I'm not good enough, or it's the wrong training or the wrong decision and I lost all of this money? What if I have buyer's remorse after this training? Or I don't know if I want to marry this dude. What if he's the wrong guy? I don't know. I don't want to start exercising or dieting because what if it doesn't last? And I've spent all this time, energy, probably money, and I don't get the results that I want. Or what if it's too hard and I can't do it? Prolonging or procrastinating on decisions leads you to confusion. It's this nagging feeling that's constantly being brought up in your brain. It sucks your energy when you say things like, I'll think about it, or maybe, or I don't know, or I'm confused. Staying uncomfortable in the discomfort we already know is why you continue to do this, sitting on the fence. I want to break it down for you in this one sentence saying you're going to be uncomfortable, regardless, whether you're uncomfortable because you're not getting the result you want, or it's going to require something new of you, new actions to be taken, new energy to be expelled because you are taking the action to work towards the result you want. If you're going to be uncomfortable either way, wouldn't you, at the end of that, you rather have the result that you want rather than being stuck and that perception of being stuck and trapped? For me, and I had to come to this decision over the weekend, would rather be uncomfortable working towards what I want and the result that I want than being uncomfortable, feeling trapped, and staying there with no end in sight. The panic attack came from feeling like there was no end in sight. We are in the middle of trying to buy a house and sell our house. So we're in this weird contingency gray period where I don't know if we're going to end up getting this house because we haven't sold our other house yet. And we have to sell our house in order to get this new house. So I'm in this gray area of living with mom and dad, with my husband and my kids. And it's a good sized house, but we're living on top of each other. And I'm feeling like I don't have my own space, and I very much need my own space. So a lot of that is what triggered my panic attack over the weekend, and not being in control of whether we sell our house or not. So I had to really look at my emotions, my decisions that led to that point, and how can I make decisions moving forward to not feel trapped and stuck. So decisions, bottom line, is just giving you data. That's it. The decision you make is not right, is not wrong. Let's not assign it a meaning. And let's just look at it as it is more data, however you want to say it, for you to make future decisions on. Look at any scenario in your life, either a good decision or a bad decision. Going into that decision, you didn't know the outcome. You could probably predict it with some sense of certainty, or maybe not, but you couldn't guarantee the outcome. Life happens. We have very little control of our external environment as to what happens to us. But you still made a decision one way or the other. And on the other side of it was a more informed, more educated, more experienced version of you. Now, maybe it was uncomfortable and you felt like it was the wrong decision, but now you know, you have more proof and more data that that was not a decision you would make again. And here's decisions moving forward. I look at ex-boyfriends as it was like my most major life-changing things that happened to me before my miscarriage was guys breaking up. Like guys breaking up with me, or me breaking up with them, or a relationship ending. That was like the most drama I had experienced. And it was always heartbreaking. It always felt so heavy, and it always felt like doom and gloom. And then I look at the marriage I have with my husband, and I'm like, thank God that those relationships didn't work out, because I learned so many skills about what I wanted, what I didn't want, how to communicate in relationships, how I wanted to be treated, how I didn't want to be treated, all of these different things, that now I have a marriage that I am committed to, because I know the alternative of what's out there waiting for me. The grass is not always greener on the other side. But these decisions, by choosing to do something or not do something, is just giving you more data to help inform you in the future on what decisions you do or do not want, and what results you do or do not want. When you make a decision, it moves you forward. I always have this analogy of like when you're in a boat, it's better to get moving and going any direction than staying still. You'll never get to your destination unless you're moving. So any movement is better than staying stuck. So when you make a decision, it moves you forward. It will give you more data to know this is the path I want to take, or nope, this is not the path I want to take. I need to make a different decision and go a different direction. That's all the decision is doing. By assigning it a wrong, right, good, bad, you're making it more than it needs to be, and that's what's keeping you stuck. The value of making decisions ahead of time, so by being intentional about your decision making, by evaluating your decisions and recommitting to those decisions or changing them, means that there is less emotion involved. That's when we say something's good or it's bad, there is a very heavy emotion in that, a very heavy belief system of, I can't make bad decisions, I have to only make good decisions for my life. Some of our worst decisions can have the greatest, best outcome. But if you never make a wrong decision, or you're too afraid to make a decision, worrying that it might be wrong, then you'll never grow, you'll never evolve, you'll never experience what you need to experience to get the result that you want. So our brain has a very finite amount of energy available for decision making. Our brain's sole purpose is to keep us alive and to keep us safe and to keep us out of danger and out of harm's way. Right? So it only has so much energy available to making decisions. And when we sit on the fence and we don't make a decision, we end up spending a lot of energy that is not getting us a result and that is not moving us forward. For me, that is what happened with my panic attack last week, is that I keep going over the same things in therapy that I can't change, I can't have an effect on, and it was frustrated. Like I left therapy with a knot in my stomach going, God, this is the same thing I keep dealing with. Why am I continuing to deal with it? I felt trapped in that emotion and in that struggle, because it's just like paying for therapy for the same thing over and over again. So I want you to focus on making the decision, getting that out of your brain, having your brain spend the energy on making the decision, and then all the little actions that follow to get you towards the result that you want. Because your brain's going to spend energy either way. It's either going to spend energy keeping that open loop of the decision in your head, where it's like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? It's better for you to just make the quick decision and move forward and make decisions based on the data that you get from that decision, and make actions to move you forward. But if you're just spending all of your brain energy on this no result kind of thought process going on in your head, or overanalyzing, you really are going to wear your brain out and never move it forward in your decisions. I don't know if you've noticed, but Mark Zuckerberg, a very successful entrepreneur, wears jeans and a t-shirt every single day, because he is aware of the finite amount of energy he has for decision making. So he chooses not to waste his decision making on his clothes. So he wears the same outfit essentially every day. It was weird seeing him in front of the US Senate in a suit, because that's very uncharacteristic of him. He is a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. There are a lot of successful entrepreneurs who wear the same clothes because they don't want to waste decisions on their outfits. It's the same thing for you, that you have a finite amount of energy from your brain to make decisions. So where would you rather your brain energy be spent? On working towards the result that you want, or just staying stuck and in a constant circle? All right. Last but not least, choose your life. This is where I'm going to challenge you to do a decision audit. So start with something for you that's a no-brainer decision for you. So maybe it's a relationship, a friendship, a job, income, whatever you have in your life that you love, that you know you want to keep in your life. And I want you to say out loud, I choose whatever that is. A real quick and easy decision for you. We're going to start off with the easy ones and then move our way into the harder ones. So for me, I choose my marriage. My marriage by no means has been a walk in the park over this past year, as we have clawed our way in therapy through PTSD and a lot of struggles. And yet both my husband and I over this past year, apart from each other, even aware of it, made the decision to stay married, because we could have had the choice either way. This would have been the year for us to break up, like 7 years in, the 7-year itch, whatever. It was the perfect time for us to be able to split and go different directions if that's what we wanted. And we both made the choice, the decision to stick together and figure it out. Whatever actions that meant, we wanted a better marriage, we wanted a better life, so we needed to stick with it. So I chose my marriage. Another example would be I choose to be a working mom. I choose to have someone else watch my children throughout the day so that I can come to work and do something that fulfills me. I can stop beating myself up over that decision because I know that is my decision, that I am choosing to have someone else watch my children during the day so that I can come to work. And I don't have to, experience mom guilt every day I drop off my kids, because I know it's my choice. I can choose differently if I don't like that. So I want you to think about what is something that you are consciously making a choice of and that you're very proud of for that choice. Go ahead right now, say it out loud. I choose whatever. Next, I want you to think about something that has a little bit of tension for you or that you're not sure about the decision on. For me, there's 2 things in my business that I'm constantly questioning myself on, and it always comes back to ultimately the result that I want. One being, I choose not to do one-on-one coaching. I don't want to be appointment-based. I don't want to be on somebody else's schedule. I want to be on my own schedule. I got into an online business because I wanted more freedom, and one-on-one coaching does not allow that for me. I did one-on-one coaching for a year, and so I've done that. I don't want to do it anymore. Although it would make me a lot of money, I know I could be booked out for months. I know there's a lot of demand for it. I get requests for one-on-one coaching all the time, multiple times in a day. I choose not to do one-on-one coaching. So yes, I feel the intensity of which people reach out to me that they need help right now. And so we are building out programs to help as many people as possible so that it's one-to-many and not one-to-one. And there's a little bit more flexibility with my time and my schedule that I don't have to be appointment-based. The second thing that I choose that is a constant struggle for me, and then I have to keep remaking that decision, is choosing not to speak at some events. I get asked to speak at a lot of events all over the world, but sorry, newsflash, we don't get paid as speakers. Most conference organizers in our industry do not pay their speakers. So my question to you as a listener would be, would you pay $2,000 to $3,000 to go volunteer your time outside of your business, away from your family at your own expense to work? Or would you rather spend that money either investing in your business or going on a vacation to travel the world without work and somebody else's agenda? As a speaker, I know the value I bring. I know that people come to see me. So I know that when somebody is investing in me as a speaker and paying for my time and my travel, that they're going to get a killer result, and that I will do some marketing to help bring people to those events. I've had people come up to me and say, the only reason I'm here is you. So yes, I have FOMO of all the events that I'm asking to speak at, and I see all the other speakers, but I also know that it's not worth my time to go speak at all these events because it's taking me out of what I want, which is more time with my family and investing in my business. I love to travel. I'm happy to travel, but if you're not going to pay me, it's definitely going to be lower on my priority list because it's not getting me the result that I want. That is something that I'm choosing to do. That may change in the future, but right now that is my choice. So I can ease up on myself and, kind of this back and forth of should I, shouldn't I, and the FOMO, and just make it a regular commitment to myself of redeciding that every time I feel that tension. This is my decision. This is my decision. This is my decision. So I want you to go through a decision audit of the things that you're sitting on the fence on. So you've already chosen the things that you do like in your life. I choose my marriage. I choose my kids, whatever. Now go through the things that are more challenging, the decisions that you're sitting on the fence for, that you're assigning a good or a bad or a right or a wrong meaning to, and make the decision. Make a regular practice of deciding your life, the direction it goes, the direction that you want your life to go in, rather than just being along for the ride and whatever happens to you happens to you. So my encouragement for you is to just make decisions. If there was no right or wrong answer, if there was no meaning behind the decision you make, other than you are just smarter and more informed on the other side of that decision, what decision would you make? Just make that decision, make it quick, and then handle whatever comes along the way. Take the actions you need to get you closer to the result you want. If you've decided that you want a more successful lash business, and the action you need to get that result is learning how to operate, market, and grow a profitable lash business, my business coaching program would be a fantastic place for you to do just that. We only open up the doors a few times a year, and we're closing in on when our next opening is going to be. So you need to get on the wait list in order to know what the program entails and when we're going to open the doors again. So head on over to the lashpreneur.com/society so that you can sign up for our wait list and get all the details that you need on the Lashpreneur Society, my group business coaching program. All right, guys, until next week, have a good one.